will the virtuous Sangha, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận tình, vị thứ Pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tình duyên diệu pháp luân nhau đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, thất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Nan Thô Su Chế Đô Ye Ơ La Hơ Đi San Miao San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive it and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jie wan jie an zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou qu yuan jie如来真实义. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Jingyang, Venerable YongHua, Venerable left form people, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Quốc sư, Hòa thượng YongHua, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. 诸佛菩萨，净良大师，师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Okay, hello everyone. Today is the 21st of August 2021. We'll be here to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra written by Master Jingyang. This is a rather scholarly overview of the profound principles in this particular sutra. If we didn't study this, we probably would miss most of these profound principles. So that's why it pays to, I think it's worthwhile to go into it, even though do not try to understand. Just let it sink in naturally. Okay, it's not meant for us to understand. There's no way for you to understand how these things, the states of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas is way beyond us. Okay. However, like this morning, I discussed the concept of Buddhist wisdom, where the first part that we must all, and we can all of us, can acquire is literary wisdom, where that it happens when you listen to these principles, and you will not find higher level wisdom than this kind of wisdom here in the universe. So this is like a passport for you to go anywhere in the future. You know, You could go to any other world and listen and try to learn about wisdom. Nothing will be higher than this. The highest level possible is right here. Okay, so you will not be surprised, that you will be people with substance. Yeah, cool. So the Master Ching Liang is rather scholarly and is so very impressive, especially to scholars. So it's very useful information to me. So if you don't understand and something bothers you, try to ask. I try to explain to you. But otherwise, some of these are way beyond you. Okay, way beyond virtually all of you. Okay, all of us. Okay, so item number 9. Okay, this is the text, I believe. 9, in order to reveal the causal nature.
开因性故。
Okay, so why do we discuss this Flower Adornment Sutra? It is to reveal the causal nature. Everything in this universe, everything you can observe, is governed by this universal law called cause and effect. So in talking about this Flower Adornment Sutra, you see the reasons, the causal, the origin of things. Okay, so for example, if scientists want to find out about how the universe is created, they should go into the Flower Adornment Sutra instead of sending, probes throughout the universe. That's too slow. Okay, and it's endless. Whereas here, the Buddha reveals the causal relationships of the most profound manifestation, most profound observations. So it's rather deep. Okay, so this is a translation from Chinese. 该因性故 gu. So kai is the opening of your heart, opening of your mind. Okay, your mind is limited to the familiar. That's our natural response. Our natural response to the complex environment. We can't handle it. We can't handle all the information is gathered by our sensory organs. Okay, and as a result, we try to restrict it to the things we can process. Okay, it's a form of self-imprisonment, if you will. They said, I don't get it. I am Korean. I will only restrict myself to Korean things. Okay, it's none of my business what the other people are doing, because I'm overwhelmed already in my own world. Okay, you do that, you basically are limiting yourself. You basically are imprisoning yourself in your own mind. Okay, so that you refuse to cross the boundaries of your own limitations. So you are limited. Okay, so this open here is to open up these shackles, these boundaries that are self-imposed. This is very important. We impose these limitations ourselves. No one is chaining us up. It's us who decide that, we reject things. Okay, rejection is a form of self-imprisonment. Can you see that? You cannot embrace. Your heart is so limited. You cannot embrace things. Whereas if you do that, you are setting up boundaries of your world, that's all. Whereas your mind is is able to be infinite. Okay? And that's how you become a Buddha. You become a Buddha by rising above your own limitations. So that's why after the Buddha became a Buddha, he says, this is such important wisdom that I need to share with my disciples, with everyone, including my non-disciples, that I need to help you open up your heart, open up your mind. Okay, especially people who are successful. Okay, they don't realize their success actually is confining them to the area, the domain where they can be successful. They're afraid of failures. Let's face it. They say, no, that's I will fail. You go there. Whereas, in fact, as a human being, you learn a lot more from failures and success. Yes or no? If you're successful, it's nothing to learn. It's basically status quo. Yes? Failure is what you have to come up with things to transcend yourself, to overcome your weakness. Okay? So this is the opening up. You need to open up. So it's not just review here, but actually open up. Review is just like, let me tell you about life in the what's a place where you like to know? I like to know about Bahamas. For some reason, I'm not sure, but I like to know. So they say, the review says, let me tell you about what life in the Bahamas is like. See if you really like it, right? Opening up is at everything. Open your heart, okay? Be receptive to everything, to everyone. That's what opening. So this kai here is more than review. But the review is pretty good for the levels. But for me, it's opening up. Okay? Open up. Free yourself. Or unfold. Okay? Not only it's a reveal, but actually unfolding, because it's like a fan. You fold it. As you unfold it, you see the picture, the decoration on the fan, what the scenery is about, what the theme is about. The same thing. Your heart, okay, has so much wisdom in there that the Buddha says, you have such a treasure, and let me help you unfold your heart, unfold that incredible amount of wisdom you have that you are neglecting. You are letting the dust alight fall on it. Okay? Mm-hmm. And also kai here so that's why review is okay, but the kai in Chinese also means to dissect, because you don't understand. We don't understand. That's what the Buddha says. Let me analyze it for you a little bit. Open it up for you. Okay? Open it up so that because you can't see from the outside. I know what the inside is like. So let me dissect it for you, like you dissect children. I mean, not children. Sorry, this morning there's a new Chan student who says, I am a researcher at a children's hospital. My first question, the first thing came to my mind, I asked her, do you dissect children? How else can you research children? That's what I do. I mean, I cut up, I remember in those labs, I cut up, lizards and, Sorry, I'm violent. What can I say? So dissecting, dissecting, and And the next concept of reveal is to mine, to take advantage of it. It's you have such a treasure. What are you doing? You should take advantage of the treasure you have. So mine it. Okay, not only for yourself, but also you're mining of these precious, rare earth elements so that we can make more batteries. Afghanistan, I can't believe it. We went to Afghanistan for 2 decades and we didn't exploit any of that thing. And as soon as we leave, the Chinese swooped in and said, let me help you with your economy. Let's sign contracts, rare earth elements contracts. Exclusive distributorship. And here's $5,000, Mr. Governor. Go buy yourself, your girlfriend, some necklaces. See, that's all it takes. And we spend like a $1 trillion, a couple of $1 trillion. We still have no rare earth elements. This is because we fail to mine it, to exploit what we have. Okay? And a more positive note is develop, develop the land, develop the technology. We have so much we can develop. Also, there's Kai here is to guide. For those of you who have the knowledge already, the Kai is actually to guide, to help you navigate through these obstructions, all these things that you are unfamiliar with, the unfamiliar terrains, these strange temperature swings. So hot in 1 week, then next week there's no sun. Jeez, this is scary. Okay, and finally, proclaim. Proclaim here is to teach. Proclaim the big principles. Proclaim the philosophy. Okay, proclaim these wonderful insights that you should have. All right, so that's what this Kai here means. You see, so this sutra, that's what this sutra does. This flower adornment sutra, it does all these things. Okay, but in particular, also it's yin sing. So it tells you, okay, all these 7 aspects or 8 aspects of this action in order to reveal this causal nature. Okay? Everything that you see has a cause behind it. And the Buddha, only Buddhas can see it. That's why he has to tell you, let me tell you what I know. You would not believe it. So that's why he says, I have to tell you, because if I didn't, you never know. And that's what it's called literary wisdom. You have to learn about these first. And then later on, you verify it yourself. All right? So that's why this sutra is explained. Next, 81. 10, to benefit the present and the future.
10历经后故。
82. To benefit the present and the future. The present means now. The future is what's coming. Okay? So is what we're doing right now is to benefit all of you who are able to tune in. And then after you die, then future generations. Okay, so that's what the sutra does. For example, when the Buddha spoke the sutra after he became a Buddha, he spoke it only to the bodhisattvas. Only bodhisattvas could listen to it. Okay, but it's meant to benefit them then, and also us in the future. You see that? So that's the Buddha's vision. he says, right now, I can explain these bodhisattvas, okay? And then in the future, there are a bunch of losers out there who, among them, are actually bodhisattvas. So I cannot discriminate and say, I will only talk to you, bodhisattva potential, you, but the rest of you, go take a hike. Can't do that. So that's why we get to listen to it too. Yeah, cool. So that's the future. We are the future. Because even though we're not bodhisattvas, we are future bodhisattvas. Ching! Yes? Okay, next. 83. It says the Dharma is that way. The way of sagely kings is level and equal. From high antiquity, they rule the same.
言法尔者，夫王道，淡淡千古同归。
And so he says, this Dharma, these principles, it's just that way. That's the way it is. Okay? Meaning, there's only one thing called the truth. The truth is just the truth. You don't say, why? Okay? Most of you are trained to ask why. Okay? Because what they taught you is not the truth. That's why they also teach you, ask why, my boy. Right? Because I don't want to tell you this, but I'm not quite sure how true what I'm teaching you. So you better ask why, just for your own sake. Sounds familiar? Yes. But the ultimate wisdom, the authentic wisdom, it's just that way. It's no why. It just is. Any problems? Yes. Lithic.
Yeah. Sometimes there's two contradictory truths, especially sometimes when we practice Buddhism.
Contradictory truths in Buddhism? For example, that's the first I heard of it.
Well,
and I don't want to sound offensive, but really is the first time I heard of it.
Last time you said, stop thinking, false thoughts, things like that. So I did. I really tried to, stop thinking. And not just when I was meditating, but when I was living my life. But then, I was doing some research looking what Master YongHua said. And he said, there's false thoughts. Okay, he said there's two different things I read about him talking about thoughts, right? So the first thing he said, okay, there's false thoughts and there's true thoughts. The true thoughts are, the thoughts of goodness, kindness, and things we can do to benefit others. And then the false thoughts are thoughts of greed, anger, the three poisons and those types of thoughts. And then I read him talking about Chan, right? And then he said, stop thinking. He said, you don't think anything and don't think about the aversions of good and evil. So those are two totally different viewpoints that he's talking about the same or ultimate truths. He said, in the first one, where he was talking about thoughts, he was saying that the Avatamsaka Sutra says everything is made out of mind. The Dharma realm is not apart from a single thought. He said everything comes from the mind. And then when he's talking about Chan, he said, don't think. He said, don't think about the attractions, aversions, all that sort of stuff. So those are two different contradictory truths that are both equally as true, right?
I'm at a loss of words. I can't believe you've been here years already and you still don't get it. The rest of you, straighten them out. Shinche, go ahead.
Not quite sure how to respond to that.
What?
I'm not quite sure how to respond to that.
Avatamsaka responds to that. Let me do it again.
I said I'm not quite sure how to respond to that either.
I'm shocked. Anyone else? YouTube comment.
Ru Ming says, Master, it's really trendy right now for spiritual people to say that when we all have our own truth, and they seem to insinuate that there is no absolute truth.
That's true. Never mind. From a psychological perspective, it makes sense. Anyone else? Yes, the abbot from so far away, the land of the extremes, makes a comment.
Yes, Master.
Look at that. How come they have no problem with technology in Korea? And San Jose, we struggle all morning. Hey, hello. You see that? Look at that. Yeah. Control yourself. Yeah, go ahead, Master Z.
Master, I think Venerable Master YongHua said about stop the thinking, that in order to see what is spoken in the Avatamsaka Sutra. So I think there's no conflicts there.
Aha, my true disciple. Not the ones who question my teachings and Master YongHua's teachings. You got it? Clear? It's a different things, different people, because it's not contradictory at all. Okay? For example, if you see that a child is overweight, you tell him that you eat more? No, you tell him, no, you have enough. But if the child is not overweight, you tell him, eat more. So from a distance, it sounds contradictory. You know, the instruction to children is not consistent, but it's different children. Does it make sense? First of all, for the confused, you get confused because you think too much. And the more educated you are, the more you think. And on one hand, education brings you more knowledge, okay? But at the same time, it creates more confusion in you. The confusion is deeper. Now you don't realize it. This is why when the Buddha became enlightened, he says, no, my Dharma is too difficult for humans to understand. Forget it. I'm not interested. Okay? You're from Mexico, right? And see? He was born in India, so far away. He's trying to keep away from us, stay away from us. I'm kidding. So it's very difficult. It's rather difficult to explain to people. And that's why I like to say, it's not what appears like it appears. Okay, because for you first come, you see the Buddha tells me to stop thinking. So I'm trying to stop thinking. I'm thinking of ways to stop thinking. That's why he basically asked. Since you tell me to stop thinking, I've been thinking, how can I stop thinking? Yes or no? That's what you've been telling me. Every single time you say, stop thinking, you actually are saying, I've been trying to think of ways to stop thinking. Yes or no? Thank you. See that? And you have to stop even doing that. No one ever tells you. Okay? He's thinking too hard. On one hand, he says, I'm going to meditate, I stop thinking. As soon as he gets up, he says, okay, I meditated. Now, how do I stop thinking? Sounds familiar? You're destroying all the meditation as soon as you get up. Stopping thinking is a natural result of the training. There's no need to think about it. You're obsessed. Okay? So this training here, you learn, you go through this Chan process in particular to stop thinking. And because the training itself will bring you to that level without you thinking about it. Okay? Excessively. That's why the methodology matters. The general instruction is stop thinking, but actually for each individual it's different. Okay? For some, okay, stop thinking about money, because that's your stumbling block, is to think too much about money. For some others, is to worry too much about their children, to the point they can't sleep. You know? And then for others, it's, thinking about the sweet husband. Yes? See? Yeah, you're lying, but it's a good thing. Sometimes it's better to lie than to tell the truth. Okay? So, each person is different. So the instruction is stop thinking, but actually it's different. You stop thinking about things that are peculiar to you, things that are confusing you. It's like you're obsessed about it. You're obsessed about food. The instruction then becomes stop thinking about steaks. Okay? It applies, the instruction is for each individual has different variations. It's not the same. That's the secret in Chan. You listen to all these things, you say, oh, I know everything there is to know about Chan now. I just have to stop thinking. But you don't realize is that stop thinking here is so different for different people, for different circumstances. But so it boils down to the training process, the methodology behind Chan, the implied methodology. And when you come to the Chan class, you go through this motion, these things, it will lead you to think less. But it's not meant for you to keep on thinking about how do I stop thinking. It's counterproductive. You cannot do it that way. Okay? It's too intellectual. Yes, you too.
Ru Ming asks, what would you say to such a person to make them question their belief?
Question their beliefs? What beliefs? For me, beliefs are different kinds. Okay? Some beliefs are cultural, where I, as an Asian, have some certain cultural beliefs that are important to me. Okay, that helps me be Asian. It's part of my makeup. Okay, and then there are some things where there are sages teaching, their instruction from Master Shenhua, from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and so forth. Okay, when it comes from the Buddha, from a sixth page, I don't question them. Naturally, I don't question those at all. It's pre-programmed already. If the Buddha says, jump up the cliff, goodbye. Nice to know you. Have a good life. I won't miss you at all. Okay? So there's certain things where actually it is an honor and privilege for the Buddha to say, go jump off the cliff. To me personally, that he would even give me some instructions. Okay? It's low life like myself. Okay? So when we have that, when I'm presented with that opportunity, I won't ever want to miss it. Instantaneously jump. Yes, sir. Okay? But there are some beliefs that are programmed into us because of the culture, because of our upbringing and so forth. Those should be questioned when necessary. Does it help? Okay. Because, let me explain to you, the Dharma is that way. It's the same thing. The instruction is jump. Okay, I jump. Because that's how it's done. That's what's that, you know. Okay. Number 3.
Con nghe nói cái ngừng suy nghĩ đó, thì con có nghe nhiều quá mà con không hiểu. Mà giống cái ngừng suy nghĩ đó, đừng có nghĩ gì đó, có lợi lạc gì cho mình không thầy?
Well,
not thinking, stop thinking. But I don't know what is the benefit of stop thinking.
it can be very, very simple. Okay. To stop thinking means that you stop using your thinking mind. That's what the instruction really means. Stop the thinking mind. Okay. Because your thinking mind, once it gets going, it cannot stop. Right there, inherently, the instruction is, can you stop thinking? Because I know once you start thinking, one thought, and follows the next, and next, and next, and lo and behold, you spend 10 minutes thinking about one thing before you realize it. And then you say, stop, like this gentleman says, stop, I have to stop thinking. And then he says, how do I stop thinking? And there again he goes again. I can stop thinking by doing this, or I can try doing that, and sort of thing. So he goes from one type of thought to the next type of thought, next type of thought, next type of thought. That's what he's doing all day. Whereas the instruction is very simple. Stop! What don't you understand about stopping thinking? Just don't think anymore. Is that clear? If you don't think anymore, what happens? When you don't think anymore, you'll be able to open your wisdom. What wisdom? Different levels. At lower levels, okay, you see things a little bit clearer. Okay? Than before. But if you stop thinking at the level of the sages, you see a lot bigger picture. You can see the big picture. That's the difference between you and the sages. People ask me, how come there's discrimination? You don't talk about it. You said there's no discrimination, but actually you discriminate. There are some people and like this, and you discriminate them, and you say other people are different. It's because low-level people cannot understand. There's no way for you to explain complex things to children. They're incapable of understanding. Whereas for adults, we can go into more complicated aspects of life. That's the analogy. Well, people are confused. They're like children. You cannot explain too much to them. Just tell them, stop thinking. That's about the only instruction they can remember. They can hope to understand. But When you get to the sage's level, hold on that thought. Yes, Q&A.
Khi Phật Di Đà lúc mà đang ở luân tù năm 1975 thì tự nhiên Ngài khiến cho người ta đưa cho con cái kinh Lăng Nghiêm. Thì con học trong có gặp một vị sư, người ta dạy cho con 6 tháng thì muốn biết vấn đề thầy nói ví dụ mà ngừng tư tưởng với mà chân tâm với vọng tâm đó. Thì đến năm 2008 á, con dự một cái Phật thất 2 ngày ở Sacramento. Thì đang niệm Phật, đang đi kinh hành niệm Phật vậy đó, Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật cũng như bao nhiêu Phật thất khác á, thì tự động tư tưởng nó dừng hết. Không còn cái nào ngày thường mình rất là worry nói mà mình biểu nó ngừng, nó không ngừng đâu. Thì mới khám phá ra là Tịnh Tông, Mật Tông hoặc Thiền Tông. Thì chư tổ cho mình cái phương pháp để mình nó dừng tự động của nó thôi. Mình không có biểu nó, mình biểu nó không có nghe đâu. Nếu đừng có nghĩ, càng biểu nó càng nghĩ. Thì tự động nó dừng như vậy 3 ngày. Mình lái xe, trên xe, người ta ngồi trên xe, người ta cãi lộn, mình nghe hết á. Mình lái nó không có tai nạn gì hết đó, nhưng mà không có tư tưởng khởi lên. Nó tự động nó dừng, không biết tại sao nó dừng hết, là do cái phương tiện là Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật. Lúc đang đi kinh hành, lúc 3 giờ chiều, bắt đầu hồi 4 giờ khuya cho đến 3 giờ chiều thì nó xảy ra như vậy. Nên đến năm con xuất gia, cái ngày mà thầy cạo đầu đó, thì 4 giờ khuya là để đồng hồ reo để mà dậy để công phu khuya. Chỉ có con với thầy hiện giới thôi. Thì đồng hồ reo mà con dậy trước 10 phút thì nó thôi để cho ổng ngủ, mình cho ngủ thêm 5 phút đi. Thì 4 giờ kém 5 sẽ kêu thầy dậy. Thì con xuống con pha ly trà nóng con uống để cho đỡ buồn ngủ. Rồi buổi sáng đó là thầy cạo đầu đó. Thì đang cầm ly trà như vậy đó, thôi cho ổng 5 phút thì mình ngồi uống trà. Chờ nó ngồi chút uống rồi thầy thức dậy, mình lên tụng kinh. Thì con nghĩ là đủ rồi, 5 phút rồi. Thì định lên kêu ổng thì nhòm đồng hồ là nó đã qua 1 tiếng đồng hồ rồi. Là lúc đó 5 giờ rồi. Ban đầu con cảm giác tưởng đồng hồ chết. Nhưng mà trong 1 tiếng đồng hồ đó coi như là 5 phút. Nó qua mình không có nghĩ gì, không có biết gì hết á. Thì đó là cái kinh nghiệm mà tư tưởng không khởi lên đó. Mình không có biểu. Ở đâu nó tự động nó dừng lại hết rồi. Rồi một lần nữa là lúc mà thầy dạy con phát tin đó, gần đây sau đó đó, thì con lấy dây con trói lại hết, không có cất già, không có cho bung ra. Thì 3 ngày như vậy ngồi chịu như vậy mà nghe chú Đại Bi vô Hòa Thượng tụng. Thì cũng vậy, sáng 5 giờ rưỡi nghe thầy hiện giới đánh răng. Thì một hồi tỉnh lên một cái là 5 giờ rưỡi chiều rồi. Nó qua nhanh như vậy đó, mình tưởng nó mới đây thôi. Giờ như vậy là nó kéo luôn 13 ngày, không đau, không mỏi, không có gì hết, không đói bụng. Thì con không biết nhập định hay không, nhưng mà nó có tư tưởng mà ít hơn, nó có chút đỉnh khởi lên. Nhưng mà 2 cái lần đầu tuyệt đối là không có một chút nào khởi lên hết đó. Thì con nghĩ cái phương tiện chư tổ, chư Phật dạy là Thiền Tông, là như thầy nói ngồi kiết già, hoặc là bên Minh Tịnh Tông thì danh hiệu A Di Đà Phật, hoặc bên Mật Tông thì tên trì chú không thôi. Thì đó là những cái phương tiện để mình đạt vô cái không suy nghĩ đó. Chứ giờ biểu nó ngừng, nó không có ngừng đâu. Xin hết.
Master, when talking about no thoughts, I remember in 1955 when I was in the prison, and I was practicing reciting Amitabha names, and then someone gave me the Surangama Sutra, and then I have a monk that also stay in there in 6 months. He taught me the principle in there, and then I know about like what is the true mind, what is the false mind. And then in 2008, I attend a 2-day Fochi retreat in Sacramento. So I just follow the schedule. We recite the Buddha's name, and then we was walking, and then I recite from 4 a.m. until 3 p.m. and suddenly I enter samadhi. All of the thoughts just stop. And then from then until the rest of the retreat, like I don't have any thoughts at all. I can hear people still talking or discussing or whatever, but then I know that my mind doesn't have any thought. And I don't know why it happened, but it just happened that way. And then another experience I encounter is on the day when I shave my head. At 4 a.m., I get up and get ready for the morning ceremony. And then I know that Venerable Xinjie is still sleeping. So I say, okay, I still have time. I will give him extra 5 minutes. That is like, because I get ready by 3:50. So while I'm waiting for Venerable Xinjie to get up, I will make a cup of tea, and then I sit there and waiting for the tea to cool down and wait for 5 minutes to pass by. And then after that, when I take a look at the clock, I say, oh, the clock, there was something wrong with the clock. It shows like it's 5 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. And then I just realized like, oh, 1 hour already passed by, but it looks like only 5 minutes. And so for me, things happen like that. It just naturally happen. And I cannot demand my mind like just stop thinking like that. It just happened. And then there's another experience when I was fasting, and I buckle and sit, cross my leg, and bear the discomfort for 3 days. And then during that time, I also listened to Master YongHua reciting the sutra. And after the 3rd day, in the morning, I still can hear Venerable Xinjie went into the restroom, brushing his teeth or whatever. And then the next thing I know that it's already 5 p.m. So for me, 12 hours pass by, it's just like a few minutes. And from then until the rest of the fasting, I don't experience any pain, no tired, no hungry or whatever. So for me, the thing is the Buddha already give us all of the methods. So people can meditate, or whoever practicing Pure Land, they can recite the Buddha's name, or they can recite the sutra. But then those are the method for you to use so that you can enter the state.
Yeah, very good. That's a good illustration. That illustrates to you that many people go through these processes, these training processes, and they experience these states of not thinking. And when you stop thinking, that's when, at the lower level, you clear your head, and at a higher level, when the actual really stop all kinds of thoughts all together. That's when your wisdom comes forth, and then you will have no thoughts anymore. Okay, and the advantage of that is that at a high level you have true wisdom. You'll be able to see the big picture that low level people cannot. So that's why the Buddha, he has to teach this particular sutra, the Flower Dharma Sutra, to bodhisattvas only, because the low-level people could not comprehend it. So he says, you guys, I've spent 21 days of my life explaining this to you. Okay, this is the most important knowledge I came to this world to impart. So he did that, and the rest of the time, it's like going on vacation. Okay? So that's what happened, and once you're able to stop thinking, okay, at low level like hers, the person who asked the question, what's the advantage? The advantage is that you are better off. Recently, she's so excited that she could not sleep. So one day, at her age, who spends a lot of energy during the day, and then at night, she didn't sleep. Next day, she got up and she spent the entire day again, okay, without sleep. So by the time she got to see me the second day, she was drained, okay. And luckily, Chongyin Sunim gave her some tea, so to keep her awake the second night in a row. Did you sleep the second night or not? I couldn't sleep until 3. I was so upset. For you, it's okay not to sleep. For me, I need my beauty rest. So, you see, the advantage of wisdom, of stopping thinking, because she could not stop. She's too excited. That one thought kept her so excited the entire day, day one. And to the point where she's still excited until the evening. She couldn't sleep, and then the whole, so she drained herself totally. Okay, at her age, it's not a good thing to do. That's when sicknesses come in. Okay, when you drain like that, that's when you get sick easily. Plus, she's a calamity because she drains everyone else around her. Okay? She's like a big, like a black hole. Wherever she goes, give me energy, I'm tired, give me energy. Hey, you, let's go have tea. And she drains you and then drains the next person. Okay, that's why when she came, I said, you stay away from me. I have Chongyin next to her, and then so that she can suck on Chongyin's energy. She didn't understand it. I look at her, no, I'm not interested in sitting next to you. She didn't get it anyway. Okay, so the advantage of to stop thinking is you can get some rest for a change, and then people like me will not reject you, will not be scared of you. All right. So once you have real wisdom, that's when you naturally don't think, and yet you understand. The understanding is without thinking, whereas your typical understanding, comprehension is based on thinking mind. Is very, very shallow. It's very slow. Okay, it's very incomplete. It's an incomplete picture you understand, and yet all of you, scientists and psychotherapists, are so excited. I got it! Eureka! 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 And you're excited over such trivial things. Sorry, I didn't mean to denigrate it, but it's you excited over partial information. Okay. That's a contribution of Buddhism. Give you the big picture, give you the ability to add more depth, add a broader scope. Okay? A bigger picture than you're capable of. And that only comes through stopping thinking, stopping your thoughts. So, for example, in Buddhism, before we make a decision, big decision, what do? We meditate so that we can stop our thoughts. Then we see clearer. Then our solution is better. Bar none, whether it's engineering, whether it's psychology, whether it's cooking, whether it's money, whether it's, stopping thinking, whether it's education, whether it's everything. You stop thinking first. And the solution comes because you see clearer. I swear to God. Don't look at me like that. You're doing already. You just don't realize it. Remember that. Before you make a big decision, meditate. Think about it and then stop thinking and meditate. That's what you develop skills for. Don't jump in like excited people like, oh, I got eureka. No. At the eureka moment, you say, this is nice, but let me stop thinking further. That's wisdom. All right? Now, Q&A. Is it too much for you? Q&A, go ahead.
Master, so if we want to stop thinking and we couldn't, is that because our blessings are not enough?
You keep sitting longer and longer until you naturally stop thinking. For you, it's like, I want to stop thinking. What happened? I'm still thinking. You just keep on sitting until you stop thinking. That's all there is to it. I'm still trying to understand. How come I'm still thinking? Stop thinking about it. Just keep sitting. Next, slide 84. And because of your discussion, I'm able to correct the slide because the slide, the translation, kind of sucks. Okay. These people don't understand the Chinese at all. I respectfully disagree with their translation. The Dharma is that way is correct. The Chinese is correct. Let me copy the Chinese over so that you see, for you Chinese-speaking people. You understand what I'm talking about. The Chinese is beautiful. I don't know why these people get these, where they get these things. Okay. 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 引法而者, that's fine. The Dharma is that way. Very good translation. Okay. The Dharma is that way. End of discussion. You don't get it. Either you get it or you don't get it. You don't get it, keep at it, boys. Okay? Eventually you will get it. That's for sure. Okay? That's guaranteed. You will get it. It's a matter of time. The path we're walking, you get it. You don't get it now, it's okay. Don't give up hope. Keep at it. Okay? Okay? Because the Dharma is that way. That's how we teach you. That's what's taught to me. That's why I'm teaching you. Okay? Because the Dharma is that way. It's been verified by my teacher and his teacher and his teachers. All right? The Dharma is that way. You can trust the sages. Yes. My teacher is no ordinary man. He's a sage. He's a great sage. He says so. That's the Dharma. So far, so good. How many people, I ask you, have the luxury of saying, my teacher is a sage? Not you. You see? Okay, the Dharma is that way because that's the way of the sages. Isn't it cool? Think about it. Your parents never told you. You should look for a sage and because he'll teach you the Dharma of that way. Okay, next. The way of sagely kings. That's the Buddhas. That's correct. Okay? Says the way, Fu Wang Dao. Dan Dan. Okay. Wang Dao. Okay. Dan Dan. Okay. Dan Dan is Chinese, but I'm translated in a way so that the Chinese don't get it. Okay? This is how I want to explain it. Yes, ma'am.
It's Fu Wang Dao Tan Tan.
Tan Tan. Thank you. Tan Tan, Tan Tan. Okay. I stand corrected. My feelings are hurt. I don't even pronounce Chinese correctly, and I dare retranslate. And that's me. Making a fool of myself. Okay. Tan Tan. Tan Tan. Huh? Tan Tan. Not Tan Tan. Tan Tan. Okay. Tan Tan. Tan here is the same way as that way. Similar concept. Tan here and urge is similar in this context. Okay? Because if the Dharma is that way, the way the Buddha behaves is also that way. You get it? Buddha and Dharma is the same thing. Okay, however, Tan Tan here, Chinese also means carry on different meanings. Okay? In a worldly thing, Tan Tan is actually I'm like it, take it or leave it. Okay? That has that kind of connotation. But not here. Here, he says, these Buddhas here have tremendous wisdom. Okay? We all agree on that. There's no way we can comprehend the Buddha's wisdom, okay, until we get there. We cannot describe it to you. You have to be there to know what it's like. You have to be a Buddha before you know what it's like. Okay? So it's just that way. Nothing we can do about it. However, the way of the Buddha when he came to our world can be observed. Yes? Is that clear? Okay, we can see how the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, behaved. Is that clear? It's observed by humans. How did he behave? Tan Tan. Okay? Chinese, Tan Tan. Okay? The way of the Buddha is Tan Tan. So far, so good? Okay. Again, folks, I'm making a fool out of myself. I'm going out on a limb here. The Chinese people are laughing. Oh, this Vietnamese guy who does not even understand Chinese is trying to change our language. You bet. Okay? Tan Tan here, okay, has, the Chinese are screaming, are complaining. Go ahead, Q&A Chinese.
Master, I just want to add that, sorry if I'm jumping the gun, I just want to add that Tan Tan has that meaning of openness, like there's nothing to hide, which is not captured in the current translation.
Yeah, I have nothing to hide. I'm open. Absolutely. Okay? Effortless, natural. Okay? All those things, yes, I have nothing to hide. But to say the Buddha have nothing to hide is kind of demeaning him. Okay? You Chinese are really demeaning our Buddhas, the Indian Buddhas. The Buddha is Indian, and these Chinese people, they think they understand the Indian Buddha. No! Sorry, Chinese person. The Koreans say, can we talk about Korean, please? Okay, so the Dharma is that way. Now what is the way of the Buddhas? You see the rationale here? It's beautiful. He says, if the Dharma, Buddha Dharma is that way, how does the Buddha behave? Dharma is concepts, yes, knowledge. But how does the Buddha behave? How did he behave himself in front of us? Am I making sense to you, all of you? That would be of interest to me. I have this thirst. I only read about my master's teaching through the books, through the translation, through the tapes, maybe some videos, but I never saw him behave in 24 hours a day. At the time of the Buddha was here in our world, in India, not in China, okay? The Indian disciples got to observe him 24 hours a day. So what is his way? Is that clear? Aren't you curious? I'd love to see how. I'd love to be there. I'd love to be able to observe Master YongHua for 24 hours a day. I can't. Okay? All I get to observe those people. Okay? So the way of the Buddha, sagely kings of the Buddha, okay, is Tan Tan. He's not trying to pretend. He's not trying, he has nothing that he's trying to cover up. He does nothing wrong. That's why he has nothing to hide. Okay? But you cannot say that. You say that, people from Mexico say, oh, I knew it. He's up to something. And then the next they say, what is it the Buddha was up to in China? And they keep on thinking about it. So that's why, no, this is the Buddha's behavior, comportment is straightforward. Okay? Nothing to hide. See, even the Chinese don't get this straight. Yeah. Straight. Okay? This is from the Buddhist teaching. Straight. Part of the Buddha mind is straight. Straight like an arrow. No beating around the bush. You don't like it? Tough luck. But make sure you drop some donations before you leave. Okay? No. Have some compassion. So it's straight. The Buddha's way is straightforward. He's straight like an arrow. And that's the Tan that the comment, the last comment is made. It has nothing to hide. It's straight. You see that? I have nothing to hide. I'm straight like an arrow. You don't like it? Tough luck. You like it? Big deal. I'm not trying to please you. I'm not trying to sell to you. Okay? Okay? So the first meaning is straight, but also has a context of natural. Okay? He's really effortless. It's a state of Buddha. Unlike all of us, she's trying to sell her son to become a monk. Okay? She's up, you sit there, you think she's not doing anything. No, she said, let me see how I'm going to get him to become a monk. Okay? Or this woman here says, I am leaving in 36 hours. What can I do? What else can I do to maximize my trip here? Okay? All of you are up to something. Yeah? Yes or no? Lily, what you up to? Buddha's, he's up to nothing. Okay? Whatever he does, that's why everything he does is effortless. He's not trying anything. Do you get it, San Jose, Chinese person? That's more than natural. That's more than nothing to hide. Does it make sense to you? You don't understand because you're always up to something. You, all of you are scheming. You're not natural. You're not effortless. That's why, because you're up to something, that's why I asked you, I said, let me hide what I'm up to first before I can answer him. Yes or no? Let me switch gear because I'm plotting. Can you give me a second for me to stop my plotting and then so I can talk to you? Deny that. Tell me I'm wrong. Yes, Q&A.
Master, so some people, we all up to something, but some people, they can be open about it. Like Buddha has his intentions too, but it's open for the public to see. Is that an okay interpretation? Like,
No, it's not about that because the Buddha does not try anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like he has to try to convert you. He doesn't try to help you even. Okay? Bodhisattvas are stupid. They say, I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to relieve his suffering. But Buddha says, that's what I do. I don't need to try. I get up in the morning. I help living beings. That's what I do. This is why I breathe. This is why I eat. I don't need to scheme for it because that's what I do. Okay? Whereas Bodhisattva says, how many more can I help? How can I create more blessings for myself, and so forth? I need to save more people. I need to open more branches. That kind of thing. Yes, Mexico City.
So is it like the Buddhas just don't think, but then, people like me just try to stop thinking, but they just can do it automatically? Is it the same sort of thing you're saying?
Right. When you have wisdom, you don't need to think, and yet you know what to do. That's a difference. Okay? So, 坦坦 here in Chinese is beautiful. It's so appropriate here because it cannot be translated in as natural alone, whatever. It has so many different aspects. But remember, for the Buddha, it's straightforward. Okay, that's something that we are not. Effortless is number 2. Also another thing that we're not. Because once you're a scheme, you cannot be effortless. Make sense? All the Koreans are looking down. They say, God, how does he know we are all scheming here in Korea? How terrible. He understands that so well. All the Koreans are scheming. Okay. So firstly, you see, hey, Chinese people, you like my translation, 坦坦? My explanation, 坦坦 or not? There are a lot of Chinese people who know Chinese, which I don't. Okay, I just know the general meaning of 坦坦 vaguely, but the way they translate it here, it's incorrect. It's inappropriate. Okay, they don't understand at all. So far, so good. Next, okay. From high antiquity, their rule the same. It's not rule. Okay, 董规. Way here is when you say rule, there are boundaries. Yes or no? The rule of thumb is you don't cross the boundaries. Yes or no? The rule of a king is that I have this rule here, you violate the rule, I cut your head off. Okay? It's not about rule here. Gui here is the same tradition. That's how they've been doing it through time and through space. You go see a Buddha in action in the Pure Land, it's the same as the Buddha here when Shakyamuni Buddha is here, or Medicine Master Buddha on the east. Where's east? No, that's west. You know what I mean? Hey, Taiwanese people, you know what I mean? You got it? Okay. All Buddhas, you get to observe them. They have the same style. 统规 is the same procedure, the same way. And style is kind of misleading. Let's change it to their way. The Chinese people, what happened to all the Chinese people? Just when I need them, they disappear. Okay, this, 坚固, 统规, 统 is the same. Way is tradition, more of tradition meaning here than rule. There's no rule. Buddhas have no rule. Is that clear? To say the rule, the Buddha has followed rules is insulting. It is so ignorant. Buddhas have no rules. Buddhas only have a style. Buddha has a certain way of behaving. Okay? That's so typical of Buddhas that we don't have, that we don't understand. But there's a style, there's a way of comportment, a way of teaching, a way to live. Just like spies have certain ways of spying, Buddha has a certain way of teaching, of being a Buddha. Is it clear? It's not rule. You see? See how profound this thing here is? The teaching here is so profound that even the Chinese don't get it. Okay? And I try to say, but format, guidelines, even habits, actually it's better to say way, style, okay? Even I corrected myself today. See, there's a certain way that Mexicans do. It's natural. You say, that's Mexican. This is the way of the Buddhas. We agree? You like it? Yeah. Not good example, I know. So far, so good? This is so fascinating. Whoever told you that the Buddha has a certain style, a certain way of Buddhas? That's what it means. Okay, next. Can we move on? 85. The single vehicle's door to the mysterious, to which all Buddhas identically certify.
一圣玄门，诸佛齐证。
Oh God. Identically. Oh my God. With this, I don't like these translations. I'm so sorry. Okay. So this person misses out on the depth of this Master Qing Liang's teaching. You know, it's a crying shame. It's a good thing we're correcting all these things, because otherwise English wisdom would be so inferior to Chinese. We keep this up. You understand? If this is all the Chinese are willing to reveal to us, my God, they're going to always be superior to us. That changes that we're superior to the Chinese. How's that? Sounds good? Huh? Now it's a dollar sign. Ching! Okay. The single vehicle's door to mysterious. Buddha has only one teaching. It's not Mahayana, it's not Hinayana, it's not whatever. There's only one door. Okay? As we who differentiate, we say it's American Mahayana, Chinese Mahayana. And Indians say, no. Ours is deeper. Ours is the original one. Okay, and so forth. And Vietnamese, says actually it's Vietnamese. You guys missed it all completely, because the single vehicle is a Vietnamese vehicle. Okay, door to the mysterious. Okay, it's so profound that it's fair to call it mysterious. Okay, we don't get it. Honestly, I don't care how hard you try, we won't get it. Okay, so we have to get inside. Okay, that door called mysterious, door number 2. No, it's 2 or 3. I forgot. Price is right. How many doors are there? 3, right? Usually 3 doors. So this is door number 4. So this door called mysterious door here, you have to open it and get inside yourself. We don't get it. There's no point, okay, in trying to describe it. It's mysterious. Good translation. To which all Buddhas identically certified. Not identical. It's not about identical at all. Okay? Qi here refers to, it's not identical, but they certify to the same level. I don't know how to translate it. You understand what I'm talking about? Huh? You Buddhist people? You know what I mean? Okay, when they certify, they all certify to the same level of certification. Not like I say it's Vietnamese certification, you said no, it's American, and then the other say no, it's Mexican. So they all have different levels of certification. All Buddhas, they all certify to the same thing here called Buddha certification. They attain to the same level. So far, so good. There's only one level. That's why you cannot say it's identical. Okay? All Buddhas, I don't know how to translate this, to all Buddhas, all Buddhas, certified too. Drop this identical, because identical is nonsense. There's no such thing as identical. Identical discrimination versus non-identical. It's just they all certify to that highest level of wisdom possible. Yes, sir. Number 9. I'm ignoring the non-Buddhists for now.
Can you just say the same level to which all Buddhas certify?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, correct it. I like that English thing. See, and that's better. The better than, you see, the Chinese is very profound. Qi is the same level. The same level. It's not identical. Has nothing to do with identical. Identical has too much discrimination. And now the Chinese are all quiet. Quiet on the Chinese front. Oh, the Chinese front. All quiet in the Chinese front. Yes, Mexican front. Number 2.
I think I would just say Buddhas universally certified.
Universally. I like that too. Okay? That's very good. Seriously? Is he serious, this guy? Yes, sir. YouTube, go ahead.
Ru Ming says, could you say in the same fashion?
No, not the same fashion. It's no fashion when they certify. When they reach it, it's natural. It's no fashion. Okay? And no fashion is wrong. Universally, it's not bad, but I like the Swiss style better. Same is qi. Qi is same. Not universal, not equal. Okay? Do you like it, huh? Our English version is slightly better. This is the difference. If you understand this is a state of the Buddhas, not identical, not the rule, not all those things. That's not Buddhas. That's Taiwanese. You know what I mean? Yes, number 4.
Master, I don't think we need 2 twos there. That 2 on the end doesn't need to be there. No, to which all Buddhists certify. It shouldn't be 2.
Yeah, there's too many twos. It's a Chinglish. The original modification was done by the Swiss, who was typed by the Chinese. So the Chinese tend to distort it a little bit so that their style is better than ours. Chinese hide. Thank you. See? You like? I'll promise next lifetime I learn Korean. I will fix the Korean translation too. Okay, this lifetime too late for me. I'm too old. Okay, but the translation matters, folks. If you translate it wrong, okay, the wisdom is obstructed, is not fully revealed. All right, next. As we look at the Vietnamese, chư Phật chứng đắc như nhau, same. Yeah, you see, the Vietnamese got it. I told you. Vietnamese, number one. But they only studying Hinayana, but the translation number one. Okay, 66. God, it's 2 o'clock already. Would you believe? I cannot believe I sit here for an hour and a half. And this is so amazing. This teaching here, I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited because we are revealing the Buddha's states that's not revealed before in English through these translations. It's so critical, okay? It's not just for you, but for the future, remember, as well. Not for us alone, it's for the future. We cannot allow the Chinese to restrict our future, okay? 87. Therefore, of all Buddhas, the Dharma is that way in infinite worlds.
故一切佛法尔皆于无尽世界。
Okay, next, 88. Very good. Okay, and I'm challenging you, Koreans, Sunnis, and Korean people, okay, to reach a level of understanding where you can translate better. Let me assure you, Korean translators, these people who approve the English translation here is higher level than you. You can criticize all you want, but if you want to do a better job, you have to reach higher level than they do. Am I making myself clear? You have, if you want to have a better translation, you have to be much higher level than they are. That's a requirement. One tech is so excited with him. Oh. It's that way. Okay, one is smiling, one isn't. One is so excited. He said, oh, I'm having fun. The other guy said, this is too much work. Okay. Therefore, you see, this, okay, is the same, is a repetition. This is so, Master Jing Liang is so profound. He says, this is very profound principles. Let me repeat it for you and duplicate it infinitely. You understand? He says, therefore, all Buddhas, okay, all Buddhas, of all Buddhas, meaning they're all equal, they're all the same. See? All. It's the same as here. The same. See that? Same for all Buddhas. Therefore, he says, all Buddhas at the same level. Got that? It is so clever. Master Jing Liang is such a great teacher. He says, just in case you guys don't get it, let me repeat it for you. All Buddhas are of the same level, okay? For all of them, when they look at the Dharma is that way, period. Wherever I go, whether it's to the West, to Korea, to Vietnam, to wherever in the universe, okay? It's that way. That's what he means, in infinite world. So this is a repetition of the previous concepts in infinite world, not just in our Saha world alone. Yeah, number 2. Your comment better sucks because you're going to embarrass the rest of them.
No, I just have a little question. In what way the Dharma is?
Sorry. It just is. The truth is the truth. It's no why. It's no how. It just is. In Chinese, is a very powerful statement. I am. You are. The Dharma is. You are you, Mexican. I am me, the great Master YongHua. We are Buddhists. Okay? She is spy number 2. That smirk is gone. Okay? So, the Dharma is that way. The Dharma is just the Dharma. There's no why. There's no how. It just is. So, what does it mean? Just read about it, hear about it, accept it. That's all. You don't have to understand. It just is. So stop thinking. Stop thinking. Say, why? Yes, this guy said, why is it that way? What do you mean? Are you trying to pull my legs? Don't trust the Buddhists. Okay? It just is. It's so beautiful. Only in Buddhism you find this. It just is. It's only one is, no others. In infinite worlds, wherever you go, it's the same exact thing. You go to the heavens, it's the same thing. Go down to hell, it's the same thing. You go to the west coast, it's the same thing. Go to the east coast, it's the same thing. Go north, it's the same thing. Go south, it's the same thing. I would never go south. I don't care what you say. Okay, next, 89. This is so exciting. I don't know, am I boring you? Koreans, look at kimchi lady. Are you excited or not? This is ultimate wisdom, dear. You know, to me, I'm so excited because it is so profound that we can hear about it, we can read about it together. It's fantastic. It's just you will not find it. And look how excited Sienna is. Yeah, Sienna is so excited. Look at her. She's trembling with excitement. And she says, I wish he would leave me alone. Okay, 89. They always turn the thus infinite wheel of Dharma, causing all living beings to return to the origin and go back to the source.
常转如是无尽法轮，令诸众生返本还原。
Master Jing Liang is so incredible. His love of wisdom is incredible. He says, they always turn. Thus, okay, inexhaustible wheel of Dharma. Okay, he says, I know. This is what he says. He's not saying, I heard from the Buddha. He says, I know they turn the wheel. See how high level he is? See? Meaning he been to all these inexhaustible assemblies in the universe. That's why he says, they always turn. You see that? It's so exciting. He says, hey, you guys always, oh, Master, he I don't know where he's coming from. But he says things are, they have no proof. My proof is here, my Catholic friend. Huh? The great teacher says, they always turn. He says, always. He says, I know. I've seen. I know. It's so exciting. You guys only want to know about how to have a big temple and how to have a lot of disciples. He says, this great master says, I saw how they turn the wheel of Dharma through our universe. You wouldn't believe how many way places the Buddha have. You know, how many disciples they have. And here we are counting disciples, counting temples. And the Buddhas throughout the universe are doing it. That's how small we are. How small-minded. You see that? It's so big. It's just like we're desperately trying to, let's be honest, we're desperately trying to get a big place up north in Northern California because we outgrew our current one already. Okay, we hamstrung. So I said, we need to buy a bigger way place up north in San Jose and San Francisco, that General Bay area. But, but there's nothing available. Oh gosh, I wish I have this big way place where I can do my work and so forth, and people will be happier, be a lot more impressive, and then, become more famous and all those things. And the Buddha says, do Buddhas do that? No, they said, I have so many places I have to go and be at. Yes, Catholic.
So the master, I think he was, when he talks about wheel Dharma, does he talk in that return to the origin and go back to the source? What source is he talking about?
This poor guy. Kind of difficult to swallow, huh? Not like the tacos. Okay. I'm glad you asked, my friend, my Mexican friend. And let me explain to you the Vietnamese way. I'm kidding. You're so discriminatory. That's why I keep on thinking of you as Mexican. I wonder why. Buddhas always turn the wheel of Dharma, meaning he speaks Dharma. Inexhaustible, meaning that he has so much to teach you, principles after principles, endlessly. That's what they do. Endlessly. They teach these, they teach endlessly. They never stop teaching. They never stop preaching. Okay? God rests on Sundays. No? Catholics help me out. The true Catholics help me out. This person who claims he's Catholic, but he says God doesn't work on Sundays. Are you kidding me? God works on Sundays? No, God doesn't work on Sundays. Domingo, my friend. Es domingo. Okay? Okay? So, inexhaustible. He has so much to teach you. There's not enough time to tell you everything he knows. There's so much that all we have time for is to give you this thing called Flower Dharma Sutra to the Chinese, which is a tiny, tiny portion of what it really is. It can only teach you the general principles. But we teach you all the details to the level of the nuts and bolts and atoms. It's inexhaustible. That's what it means. Okay? So the wheel of Dharma, meaning he preaching sermons to you non-Buddhist people, causing all living beings to return to their origin and go back to their source. Okay? See, my problem with the translation, return to origin and go back to the source here, is the same thing. I mean, the Taiwanese translator don't see any difference between return to the origin and go back to the source. To them, origin and source clearly are different words. You know what I mean? Okay? The phản bẩn is to return to the fundamental, return to origin. That's okay. Okay? And the next one, 還原 here is to 還 is to restore. Okay? Change it back to the original. Change it back to the original. That's what it means. It's not go back to the source. Baloney. I'm sorry. And this translation, they translate like this throughout, all the books. I used to read them. Oh, how wonderful. It means what? Again? They seem to be the same thing. Return to origin and go back to the source. I said, but that's not what the Chinese mean. Okay, Korean people, pay attention to this. Okay, it's not the same. The way the English translation here is wrong. I disagree. Okay, YouTube, go ahead.
Ru Ming asks, instead of origin, could you say fundamental?
Yeah, fundamental, origin, fundamental, same thing. Fundamental is too long, especially for Vietnamese people like me. We like short words. Do you realize Vietnamese has nothing longer than, what's the longest Vietnamese words? Min, what's the longest? Hey, Xian Ran, what's the longest Vietnamese word in terms of characters? 10, less than 10. I swear to God, it's less than 10. Yes? Less than 10, for sure.
Yeah, the Vietnamese word is very short.
Very short. So that's why I, being Vietnamese, okay, prefer shorter words. Fundamental is too long for us. We stumble. We say too long words, we get lost. So I prefer like origin or, but if fundamental works as well. Comment from Korea. Oh my God, they're awake.
How about root, Master? Would that work too?
Root.
Root. The root.
The root. Yuan is root. That works, I guess. She's doing well, so I don't want to offend her. I know my place. It's not a time to afflict her right now. You better be nice. Huh? She's going back in 36 hours, says, you better be nice to her too. Don't afflict her. Root is very good. Okay, so restore the original. I don't have a better word, restore the original, but it's not the same thing as, going back to the source, return to the origin, going back to the source. It's the same thing. It's not meant to be the same thing in Chinese. Okay? The Chinese have different connotations. I don't know how they translate it to English that way. It's so be careful, okay? When you Koreans do your translation, be careful, don't follow the English too closely, especially for these translation on they're a little bit off. Next, 91. To the exhaustion of the boundaries of the future, they do not rest.
穷未来际，无有休息。
92. This refers to the end of time. We rest because we have a notion of time. We're tired. We need rest. Buddhas don't get tired. Okay? And they do not rest. Therefore, they do not rest, meaning they do their work endlessly. Okay? We are so ingrained in the notion of time that we need to rest. Because of that, there's a rest time and a work time. Okay? There's discrimination of time. Buddhas don't have that. Okay? 修习 here is not so much about time, okay? But the concept here is not time. What is the concept here? Efforts. It's not time. It is. They never stop working. For us, it means we never stop what? Trying. That's the difference between us and the Buddhas. The Buddhas, they work. They don't rest. For us, we don't ever stop trying. So we can rest. You understand? If we say we're the same as the Buddha, we don't rest, then you're lying. We have to rest. We have to sleep at night, don't we? Okay? So we cannot say we don't rest. We have to rest. Eventually. Buddhas don't rest, it's true. Because they never stop. Okay? But for us, we have to stop. So what applies to us is we never stop trying. Questions? Okay. See, one tech is so sleepy that he has to lean on the chair, on the bench to stay awake. Yeah. Number 2.
I think the little comment that before that, what I meant by God rested on the 7th day is just to teach us that we have to cultivate from Monday to Saturday. Sunday we have to keep that day for God. That means we have to still cultivate by going to Mass, pray the Rosary, and things like that. It doesn't mean that God rested that day.
Very good, thank you. Says these Buddhists, you cannot trust the Buddhist interpretation of the Bible. Never trust the Buddhist interpretation. I agree. God, horrible interpretation. Thank you for, I stand corrected. I can take it too. But no more comment today. Yes, ma'am, number 4.
Yep, but it says in the Bible that God created in Genesis. He rested on the 7th day. Domingo.
Thank you. Number 4. Okay, number 2. Go ahead, number 2.
Exactly my point. It doesn't mean that he literally rested. It just means that it's teaching us that we have to reserve that day for appreciate God's creation, which is going to Mass, things like that.
No. God rested, she says. Let me repeat. Genesis says on the 7th day, God rested. I remember that. In Star Trek. That's my, I have an authentic reference. Star Trek is at 4 or 5. Anyway, Star Trek Genesis is exactly what it says. God created the world, and on the 7th day, he rested. You're trying to confuse me. See, he's speechless. Yes, go ahead too.
No, it's just
Shame on you. Say it. I'm ashamed of myself.
No, wait. It's how you're going to interpret the Bible. It just means that on the 7th day God rested means that we have to reserve that day for God.
No, that's what the English says. God rested. Meaning on Sundays, we reserve it for him, but he's not there. He's like, went fishing or something. He's gone fishing. He said, I'm out of here. I'm not going to go to the church. That's what it means to me. God rested. He's not going to church. He's walking home. You hear, huh? He tried to confuse me. Yes, go ahead. Spy number 2.
I have an interpretation too. So it says God was creating the world, and the day 7 he rested, right? Yeah, because he was creating the world. By the 6th day is done creating, so on the 7th day he is not creating the world anymore. So he's rested, and then people come here to cultivate, go to the church to worship him. So he's sitting there and receiving the worshiping and working with you guys. Let
me
not
interpret
anymore.
her statement for the Catholic. On the 7th day, God rested and came to Wei Mountain Temple. He went to church, but the Wei Mountain Temple church. Okay. I think we all agree on this. No more discussion. But he's walking home. There's a few more minutes. Shall we continue? Okay. 93. Therefore, in the inconceivabilities chapter, it makes clear that all Buddhas.
故于不思议品中明一切诸佛。
So in that particular chapter, okay, it says in the Buddhas of the 10 directions throughout the universe, 3 periods of time, they're inconceivable and infinitely many number, continuing, 95, are able in a single body to manifest by transformation heads as many as fine motes of dust in ineffable Buddha Kshetras.
能于一身化现不可说佛刹为成数头。
Now it's not something any one of us knows what he's talking about. You see, he's very kind. He says, I tell you, but I tell you, in a single body, one single body, he transformed, okay, infinitely many, ineffable, is countless. It's no way that anyone knows what he's talking about. And Kshetras, meaning Buddha land. Okay, he says one single body. Okay, he transformed into countless bodies. One body, he transforms into many more bodies, infinitely more bodies that he sends throughout the universe. Now, what does it mean? You want to follow Buddhas or you want to follow one God? Buddhas, there's more Buddhas than gods. Think about it. They believe one God, we have countless Buddhas. Try to beat that. He says, I don't believe you. Okay, and that's the only thing. Okay, we don't know, but how true it is, but we believe it's true. Okay, if it's true, this truth here compared to their truth is one God. One God. Okay, one God. don't want to use the wrong finger. One God, okay, for us is infinitely many Buddhas. That's our beliefs. He's impressed. See? Speechless. Huh? Ain't that cool? Huh? That's Buddhism for you. It's infinite. Infinite in our mind. You're so small. You only worry about your whatever you can see. This is so much more that you cannot see. Go ahead, go for us, and we stop.
Sorry, Master. This is going back to the previous question in the middle of lecture. You talk about to stop thinking. You just
Yes.
sit.
Yes.
What happened when you're not sitting or you're done with sitting? Or
What?
how can you?
What? What did she say?
The question is.
再说一次。
The question is, you mentioned you thought that to stop thinking, we just need to sit long enough.
Yes.
So what happened after you get up from the sit?
And you think?
Like that does not last beyond.
Then you think again, you have to live with your family. If you walk around and not think, the family is going to think that you're crazy. That's called middle way. There's a time for you to think, there's time for you not to think. There's time for you to be a Buddha, there's time for you to be a living being. Is it clear? It's called middle way for that reason. Is that there's a time for you to use your transcendental wisdom, there's a time for you to be like a common mortal. Otherwise, you cannot connect with people. How can you say, I'm a Buddha, I love you as my child? I said, and people say, you have a child? Aren't you supposed to have no child? You see, you cause problems. So when you do work as a Buddha, appear as a Buddha. But when you work as connect with your child and your family, be like a regular person. That's called middle way.
She's still talking.
What do you think? The middle way is like, I am so happy. Is that the middle way? It isn't. The middle way is pure and impure, good or bad, Buddhist and Catholic. You know what I mean? Yes, go ahead and go for it.
I am talking about the more destructive, undesired, obsessive thinking. So not normal, day to day.
Sometimes you can't help it, honey. Sometimes it's your karmic retributions. Sometimes you can't help ourselves. So sometimes you go into the excessive things, like for example, okay? Just for example, I'm not naming anyone. An example is that you feel you have such a low opinion of yourself. Anyone? Huh? That's depression. You can't help yourself. You know what I mean? They come to you and say, I feel so bad. And you blah, blah, blah. You keep going and say, oh, sorry, time's up. Next week. Okay? It's job security. We owe the therapist money. So we keep on coming week after week and no improvement. Zero improvements. And after 3 years. Okay? So we can't help it. You cannot blame the therapist. They're collecting the debts. Okay? Same thing. The ghosts, they come and harass you, are able to harass you because you owe them. So pay up, buddy. Stop complaining. But But you should wake up to the fact that when you want to stop the excessive thinking, you ask yourself, who's thinking? Who's worried? Who's feeling, who's having a low opinion of herself? No one. And it stops. Stops right away. Who's depressed? Okay? And if you still have an answer, okay, you can think of something, then keep sitting and sitting until nothing arises anymore. Does it help? Okay, so we continue next time. Everyone? Okay. Thank you.